Hello English 10, this is Mrs. Long, and this is the beginning of Unit 2, Session 2. I'd like to welcome you to this next session. I hope you each had a really good weekend and enjoyed our fall weather in Colorado. I hear we are in for a very long winter, so it's kind of nice to have something that's warm and just outdoorsy while we have it. I had the pleasure of going down to Waterton Canyon with a number of Cub Scouts and hiking, and believe it or not, the Cub Scouts did not scare off the bighorn sheep. It was a real treat to see them. Hope you all did something fun and that you're getting caught up if you're behind. I know I have my work cut out for me today, just getting caught up myself. So anyway, we are beginning Unit 2, Session 2, where we are looking at additional literary elements, additional literary devices that help you to see ways that the author has made the story more inviting, more engaging. And you want to be reading like a writer. That is, you want to be studying the conventions, the ways they're using these different devices, so that you can apply it to your own creative story in Session 4. So this week, we'll be doing things a little bit differently. There are 4 assignments or 4 tasks, 3 assignments, but a little bit different than what you have done previously. So this week, we are going to be taking a quiz over the literary elements, and that's a quiz over the things you learned last week, the setting and the imagery, figurative language, as well as the literary elements contained in this session. Got to make sure you know them before we can start talking about them. That quiz will be available only on October 1st. It's very important you log in that day to take that quiz. Then you will be reading 2 short stories from a list of options that you have, and that will serve as a mentor text for you when you're studying these literary devices. And based on that, you will share to a class wiki. This is the online version of a jigsaw puzzle. You can't possibly read as many short stories by yourself as we can as a class. And so we will build a collection of examples of literary devices in short stories, and you get a sense of what other short stories are like as you read what your peers have written. A wiki is like, again, Wikipedia, a collective document that we'll all create. And then the last thing you'll do is create a Whopper paragraph. You've done these before, PEA paragraphs and Whopper paragraphs put together to be one long paragraph. This is the point breakdown on those, and this is a recommended schedule. Remember, you should be working 5 to 7 hours a week on English and try to make that in a focused place and a focused time. I have 4 kids. I know what it means to work with focus, and I know what it means to work with distraction. So make sure that you do what you need to do to get to that focused work. So anyways, you'll be learning about different literary devices. There's a probably review for some of you and some introduction for others of you, especially on irony. That may be new for all of you. And then you'll be taking a literary devices quiz. The short story selection that you're looking at has a number of different options. All of the links are here for you. You can choose the ones you want. There's a few notes here about what you're getting into, and you can try a few out before you commit to some. I do recommend that you print a copy of each of your short stories and highlight those devices as you're reading it. If you recognize a simile as you're reading it, or if you recognize an indication about foreshadowing, what's going to come in the story later, recommend you highlight those, because those will be useful to you when you're completing these 2 assignments right here. Once you have collected those literary devices, you're going to be sharing on a class wiki, and that class wiki is based on a link here that is right now available to all Jeffco students. You will need your Jeffco email to access it. And once you do that, you'll be able to get to a site that looks something like this. And you're going to add your paragraphs about each of these, or 3 of these literary devices from the short story that you've read. And here's an example of what I'm looking for. Paragraph on how that literary device is used in that story. BOCES students, you will not be able to access this as is, so I'll need to know what the best email is for you. Message me and I will add you manually to that so that you can access that site and contribute to it as well. So that's the second assignment, quiz, then literary devices. And then the third thing you'll be doing is making a Whopper paragraph. This is, again, the PEA paragraph sandwiched with 3 all-beef patties, the conclusion, and the introduction to make a solid paragraph. This is a technique that people have used in college as well as in high school and on standardized testing, a lot of opportunities to create a very solid paragraph without having to think too much about the structure. The structure is provided for you. So basically you're writing your author, your title of your short story, and a statement of what you're going to discuss, which is how the literary devices are used to create an effective story. Then you would name your first literary device and explain or give an example of that device and analyze why that device makes the story more memorable, more effective, worth reading. And then do the same for a second literary device and a third literary device and conclude in the last sentence. And so you'll upload that. Just a reminder about Acuity. I'll click back to that real quickly. If you didn't take it already last week, you do have until October 10th. That is the revised date, and that was based on some snafus and situations they had at the beginning. But you need to take Form A with this link here, your student number, your 8-digit birthday, and I will go ahead and manually transfer those points. You don't have to do anything. I don't have to upload anything in Schoology in order to get those points. The only change I need to point out, unfortunately, is that I was misinformed, and if you are part-time secondary and you're not taking Acuity at your home school, some of you will be, some of you won't be, then this is a test that you do need to take. So you've got a couple more weeks to do that, and if you have any questions, let me know. We'll get you over to some help with Mr. Self. And so that is this week. You are, again, looking at doing a quiz on Wednesday. I'll send you a reminder about that. Short stories that you're going to read, create a class wiki, the Whopper paragraph, and if you get done with that early, you can do the Acuity this week or at the time of your choosing. So that's it. As always, focus, work hard, try hard, be in touch with any questions, and have yourselves a great week. Thanks.